Hi, I'm Ron with Amazing Mile Markers Tops. Come along with us as we look for amazing places to visit.
I'm on the train headed back to Indiana. The rain is forming into rivers outside, writing down all the things that I miss, and in the letters you take form.
All of a sudden I hear a boat behind me, coming up. Here's one of them guys coming on this side, so I turn my head without turning my body to see him, as soon as he got within my field of vision. And all of a sudden there's this sucker as big as me. He's only 20 foot off my feet. So my first reaction was to turn away from him because we're in a narrow part of the channel. So I turned to give him more room. And then I looked down and saw the weight he was going to be creating. Well, that was one stressful anchoring. First of all, it's been very windy all day, about 17 mile-an-hour winds, blowing pretty good consistently all day long. There's a big storm coming across the U.S. headed our way, and these winds are in front of it. I think the rain's supposed to hit tomorrow, I think. And so anyway, we tried to go up creek without a paddle. It was listed on Active Captain as an anchorage. They said there was about a 4-foot sandbar at the entrance, but once you got across it, that you were in at least 5 to 6 foot of water. So we only draw 3.5 feet, or 3.8 anyway. And so I figured we'd try it because it was a nice little secluded anchorage, and we plan on staying here for a couple days, do a little work on the boat. Didn't make it.
It actually showed 4 or 5 different spots once you got in there that you could anchor.
Yeah, but we couldn't get across the bar. I could tell for a little while that I was dragging the bottom because my steering was very difficult. And I knew that I was dragging the bottom, but I hoped I could just get across and I'd be okay. But we just came to a dead stop. I backed her up. The wind immediately started blowing us into even more shallow. I couldn't back up because we had no steering going backwards on Elixir. She's single screw. And like I say, the wind just kept blowing us. So I backed up enough and gave it hard right rudder and goosed it as hard as I could to try and do a real tight turn and get my bow into the wind. And I just ended up being on the sandbar even worse. After 2, 3, 4 attempts, at one point we were listing about 20 degrees. Huh?
Yeah, we were definitely leaning. A couple of times actually.
Yeah, a couple of times. We were listing quite a bit.
And I was holding the little handheld one over the side and got like 1.5 foot reading.
So we were hard aground, and I tried to back it up, it wouldn't go backwards. Tried to go forward, it wouldn't go forward, and so I just kept wiggling back and forth. I gave it hard right rudder so that every time I'd push forward, I was pushing one way, and just kept wiggling it back and forth, and finally dug ourselves out enough, and actually backed up over the bar, and then. So at that point, I just goosed it and got out of Dodge. And we went back out and we tried a different place up in that same little inlet. And there were shrimp boats back up in there. I figured, hey, they can get up in there, I can get up in there.
They must know which side to go to.
Yeah, they know something I don't know. I got to the shrimp boats. I did that okay, but I didn't want to be rude and anchor right in their channel and block them in because we're going to be here for a couple days. So I figured I'd go just past the shrimp boats and drop my anchor. Nope. As soon as I cleared the shrimp boats, I was aground again. So we did some maneuvering, backing up and back and forth to turn around and get out of there in that little narrow channel that Marie said maybe they had it dug for them. I don't know. It wasn't very wide. But we got out of there, and I said, enough with that little inlet. Let's go find another one. So we came into this inlet we're in right now, and it was listed to be, they said 8 foot all the way up in here. Maybe, but we weren't seeing it.
5 to 7, I think.
Okay, we were seeing the 5. So I lost my sonar coming in, and we traveled.
You still haven't gotten it back.
Yeah, it's just flashing at us. We probably, what is that, about 2 miles? Or at least a mile. We're at least a mile up in here in this creek, and no idea what depth we were at the entire way. Marie kept putting over our handheld and getting about 4 foot, so I just had to trust that and come in. So then we tried to drop anchor. Well, there's crab pots everywhere. You can't drop an anchor and swing in here without hitting a crab pot. And so finally I just said, you know, it's getting late in the day, we got to anchor somewhere. So we just dropped it in the middle of 4 crab pots, and if we swing, we're gonna hit all 4 of them as we do a circle. I don't care. We're at anchor. But as soon as we started to drop the anchor, our anchor windlass, the clutch on it gave out, and it wouldn't put out the anchor. So the wind was blowing us because it's windy, and next thing you know, we're on the other side of the creek, and at that point the anchor dropped. Well, now we're too close to the houses over there and not where we want to be, so we lifted the anchor back up, and which wasn't easy because the clutch kept slipping. We tried to anchor a second time and got the anchor chain out even with the clutch slipping, and put out 50 foot. I mean, we're in 5 foot of water. So I put out 50 foot and went to set the anchor, and we just dragged. I was doing almost a full knot going backwards. It didn't care. So by the time I realized we were dragging, we were back over by the houses again on the wrong side of the creek. So we lifted it back up.
For the third time over here.
Yeah, for the third time here. And got back on the other side of the creek where we want to be, went to drop the anchor if we were put out 75 foot. And the clutch wouldn't work at all. So Marie came up, grabbed the helm, and just held us on station while I went down to the lazarette and got a wrench, and I tightened that clutch. It ain't loosening, not for a little while anyway. So we got the anchor chain down, out. We got 75 foot of scope in 5 foot of water, and we seem to be holding, and we're ready to relax. So y'all have a good one. If you'd like to help us make more of these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free to you, but helps us more than you know. And don't forget to check out the nation's largest free online travel guide for boaters, AmazingMileMarkerStops.com. If you would like to put a little fuel in our tank, you can support us on Patreon. And remember, don't just cruise.
Visit Amazing Mile Marker Stops.